Some of the left of center loonies, they love coming after me when it comes to some of the things that we discuss here on the program. They like to call our talks, our discussions here about inflation as hey, it's a right wing talking point. Yeah, no, it's right wing. There's no inflation out there, and again, it hurts my head. It really does. Last week on the program, we talked about that Oliver Anthony song, Richmond, North of Richmond, and how it has exploded over the internet. I think it's gotten over 15 million views at this point in time. And one of the things that he talks about in the song is, basically the control that the government wants, and your dollar ain't worth shit. And it's taxed to no end because of Richmond, north of Richmond. And it's, again, this song, you listen to the lyrics of the song, it's resonated with people around the country. Anybody with half a brain, and anybody who's rolled into a Starbucks and said, I just spent what? I mean, it's absurd. It really is. I've spent a lot of time on this here on the program, and all of the left of center publications, they're going after this poor guy and punching down on poor people. Right. The one thing that the song attacks and we attack is the welfare state. Again, you get a lot of conservatives out there that I go after, the Marco Rubios of the world, that want to continue to expand the welfare state. We criticize entitlements here on the program because it's a poison. It's a drug is what it is. It is poisoning our country, handouts and giveaways. I was watching a little bit of, it was the Netflix movie, Matthew Broderick. It's another takeoff on the OxyContin and the opiate scandal in the Sackler family. It's not nearly as good. It's called Painkiller. It's not nearly as good as Dope Sick, the one that Michael Keaton did. But again, they talk about what drugs have done to this country. Well, entitlements, handouts, and giveaways, they're a drug as well. And the entitlements and the handouts and giveaways are used by politicians, in essence, to buy votes. It's a vote buying scheme, is what it is. Well, I saw this. I saw Zero Hedge. And again, shame on Wikipedia. They changed it, I guess. They changed it. They initially claimed that the song's lyrics revolve around common right-wing themes such as inflation. Inflation is a right-wing talking point? No, it's an economic phenomenon that we're dealing with today. The price of what we spend on a regular basis has skyrocketed. The value of our money has fallen off a cliff. There is nothing, a zip, zero, zilch, nada, there is nothing partisan about inflation. It affects everyone. It affects rich, it affects poor, it affects Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, I don't care what you are, independent. Doesn't matter whether you're male, doesn't matter you're female, who cares who you sleep with? It hits everyone. It is a destroyer. It is a destroyer of wealth. It is something that we as financial planners have to deal with on a regular basis. We have to factor it in. Now, the numbers that the government's been giving us for years, we all know are bullshit. They're not close to being accurate, for crying out loud. You know what you spend. Inflation has, it's wrecked civilizations. It's wrecked civilizations, wrecked Rome. It ushered in Mao Zedong and China. again, Zero Hedge mentioned some of these things I never really thought of. Ernest Hemingway, for crying out loud. He moved to Spain during the Spanish Civil War to oppose Franco. He actually wrote for the communist publication, Pravda, because he hated fascism so much. He called inflation the first panacea for a mismanaged nation. The second was war. Even Keynes, not a conservative guy by any stretch of the imagination. Big macroeconomic leftist, okay? He warned in 1919 that Vladimir Lenin is said to have declared that the best way to destroy the capitalist system was to debauch the currency. By a continuing process of inflation, governments can confiscate secretly and unobserved an important part of the wealth of their citizens. The sight of this arbitrary rearrangement of riches strikes not only at security, but also at confidence in the equity of the existing distribution of wealth. Larry Summers, a guy that, again, I've gone after some of his ideas here on the program. I like to poke fun at Larry. I was just saying about Larry. Ask Larry who the smartest person in the world is, and he's going to tell you, it's me. It's me. Again, former president of Harvard. He was Treasury Secretary for Bill Clinton, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was it Bill Clinton or was it Obama? But he worked in both of those administrations. And he's come out and say inflation is significantly contributing to distrust in the institutions and to pessimism about the future. Again, it's not right wing. It is what it is. And again, I watched Biden's one of his economic advisors yesterday. He was on CNBC and talking about the wonders of Bidenomics, and inflation isn't that bad. And again, it's so out of touch of what people are dealing with every single day. I know it's a topic that we hit here on a regular basis. Again, the Fed can't fix it. The only thing that can fix it is better choices. We need to make better choices, and that's who we send to Washington, D.C. And we need to get rid of ridiculous regulations. We need to get rid of all of these mandates, all of these things that continue to drive our prices up. And we have to also get our fiscal house in order. We cannot continue to spend like we've been spending. All of this is debasing the currency, and it's making our lives that much more difficult. WatchDog on WallStreet.com.